been given full access to the Players Lounge on the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy, sitting here with Big Kenny, the funny man himself, and the truth. The NFL community has lost another soldier in Rashaan Salaam, the 1994 Heisman Trophy winner, drafted in the first round to the Chicago Bears. Actually had an outstanding rookie year, going over 1,000 yards, scored 10 touchdowns. He was found Monday night around 9 p.m. At the Eben G. Fine Park in the car. Right now, authorities are saying that there's no signs of foul play, but they will do an autopsy. We wanted to reach out to someone who knew Mr. Salaam, a former teammate of his, a good friend of mine, Kordell Stewart, Colorado Buffalo quarterback, one of the most amazing throws in college history, for some of you that don't remember that, playing against Michigan. But him and Rashaan Salaam were at Colorado at the same time. Good morning to you, Kordell.
Sir, good morning. How you doing, Big G?
I'm doing good. Thank you for taking the time and calling in. Tell us a little bit about Rashaan Salaam and your all time at Colorado.
I'm going to do the best I can to keep this thing light, Big G, but I got to be honest with you. This is the most talking you have ever done since I've been knowing you and hearing you with this intro.
Yay!
It's unbelievable.
It is, Kordell. It is.
I knew how to talk. I didn't feel like y'all wanted to hear what I had to say.
Oh, man. But it's good to be on your show as usual, Big G. I'm always open to come to your show, man, because you always been my guy. But Rashaan, just like yourself, man, it's hard to put this in words because while again, as you and I joke and laugh, we are right around the corner from each other, and we may see each other, honestly, man, maybe 2 times out of a 6 months or so. But when we see each other, man, it's as if we were talking yesterday. And That's the relationship I had with Rashaan. And, he was literally like my little brother because, one thing Rashaan and I had in common is we were somewhat the same size. We were somewhat the same speed. We were somewhat had the same strength. I had the edge a little bit. And one thing he did not like is that his quarterback was faster than him. His quarterback was stronger than him. And he wanted to make sure it was understood that he was the tougher guy, and I was just the quarterback. But all the things we did together was one that kept it on the edge, on the cutting edge of competing against one another in the same backfield in a very friendly way, to the point where I used to say, hey, man, I just want to let you know something. Don't let me outrush you in the first half of any game we play in. Because if I beat you, I promise you I will never let you let it down. And Rashaan took that as a challenge, Big G, man, and I just remember playing against the Kansas State Wildcats on ESPN against Chad May, and was touted to being one of the better teams in our country. And I would say in the first half, I probably outrushed Rashaan probably about 30 yards or so because I had a big 65-yard run for a touchdown. And I remember him coming celebrating the end zone, and Big Boy looked at me, and while everybody was giving high five, he came up to me last. He said, hey, man, he said, why you didn't pitch the ball? I said, because I didn't want you to outrush me in the first half. and ever since then, Big G, man, we had a great bond of respect for one another, a relationship that was second to none. And every time I saw him after football, man, the first couple words came out of Rashaan's mouth is I love you, man. So if you didn't have any love in your heart as a man to another man, Rashaan forced that out of you to the point where it was like, hey, man, can we talk about something else? Man, I love you, too. Let's talk about something else. But, it's a great loss, man, for I would think for everyone that's been affiliated with him, I'm more than sure the Heisman Trophy Committee, to a lot of his teammates, people back at home in parts of California. I just saw this dude this summer. You know, I can't stop talking because I'm getting pulled because that's the love we have for one another. And I saw him this summer going back to get my degree, and we spent time, and he was like, man, Kordell, you have no idea how great it is to see you. And I'm like, Rashaan, bro, those memories we have will never be forgotten, and I'll always love you for them. And thank you for giving me a chance to have a front row seat to watch that up close in HD before HD was HD, in 4K television before 4K television was in existence. I had a chance to see it up close in person, and it was unbelievable.
Kordell, this is the truth. The news is saying that there may be a report that this was a suicide. Would you have any indication of maybe his mindset the last time you guys spoke?
You know, I don't know, what the reports are. And to be honest with you, I don't care, to be honest with you. I just know at the end of the day, I lost a great friend. You know, I lost a teammate that was, it can never be replaced. Those times spent were the best times of my life. Because Big G can tell you, going back to Auburn, going back to Colorado, our college days, those days were innocent to where media in the height and typecasting situations to determine the outcome of a person's career or life, it didn't exist then. And regardless of how it got to this point, honestly, it doesn't matter. That will never replace, regardless of what it was, the experiences we've had together, man. And it's unfortunate that while we're trying to find answers about this young man, they have family, they do have friends, and in my mind and in my psyche, some of the stories that I've heard, about how he was just laying there, whether it was by a creek to in the car, and how you guys actually brought in the segment, to whatever, I'm like, I'm just thinking about this young man's body being in a vulnerable state to where he wasn't covered, he wasn't protected. And that's one thing we always did for one another is we looked out for one another. And he was like my baby brother because he came from 8-man football, and the man didn't want to be praised. He just wanted to play football. He didn't want all the attention. He just wanted to play football. When we put him up in the air after rushing for 2,000 yards against Iowa State in that 94-95 season, he didn't want to be on top of the shoulders of Tony Birdie, Keith Irwin, Chris Neoli, Brian Stoltenberg, Derek West, myself, Christian Fourier, Matt Lepsis, Rashaan, to Greg Caruth, Michael Westbrook. He didn't want to be on those guys' shoulders. He wanted to be in the mix and be loved by his guys. He didn't want to be put up there, man. And so to know how shy he was and reserved he was, to understand how defenseless he was, and being in that moment by himself, where whatever happened, he had to deal with that by himself, man. I'm going to be honest. It's hard to wrap my mind around that, knowing that if he needed help, I couldn't be there for him. I talked to some of my teammates, and the guys hurt because it was like they're having mixed emotions. Like, I'm going to miss my dude, but God dang it, why couldn't we know or understand if it was something that was bothering him or whatever it may have been? Could we have done a little bit more? I mean, when you talk about team sports and accomplishments, those moments could never be explained to a pundit, to a fan. People just try to draw from it and try to create stories. But those moments in time, ask Wayne G after leaving from the Rams and going 13-3 with the Steelers, those moments could never be forgotten. And the feeling that you deal with and have to endure after losing that something that was so close and so special to you, those people you had a chance to experience that with, good God Almighty, I can't even put it in words. I really can't. I'm like, I don't know how to put it in words. I swear. All I can do is talk about the great times with this dude, regardless, because we all have our tough times in life. And to be here having to speak about it, it's a surreal moment because I'm like, I will not be able to go back during the summertime and see my man, and he was like a little brother, truthfully. He looked up to me on so many levels. And to not be able to give him those last words to try to help him get over that hump, it hurts me to the core.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people in the Colorado family will feel that same, that they didn't see it or they were not there to help him through it in situations like that. Kordell, we appreciate you taking the time and calling in and helping us. Twitty told me to tell you to work on your golf game. I don't know what that has to do with the radio show today.
Well, Big G, let me hurry up and give you some, because we got to go to break. But I came to an event where I only had a couple holes to play. And I got to the point where I didn't have my clubs. I had my dress shoes on. I just came from an event working at the radio station. I took his driver that he couldn't hit and won the long drive contest with it. So, all that he talking about right now, he probably still has that driver and trying to figure out how I hit the ball so far. But he need to give it to me and go and retire.
I will tell him. We will.
All right, Kordell, thank you, sir. We'll be back right after this. Good morning, Sports Joc Show.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
It's Wayne Gandy. It's Wayne Gandy.
Oh, log on so you can see the Sports JOC, even Big Kenny.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. Thank you, Kordell Stewart, for calling in and helping us out with the show today. Losing your friend, Rashaan Salaam, 1994 Heisman Trophy winner. That season, Colorado ended up being number 3 in the country with players like Salaam, Kordell, Michael Westbrook. On offense, Salaam went on to play first-round pick for the Bears, 21st pick, had one of the top rookie seasons ever, 10 touchdowns, almost 1,100 yards he rushed for. After that, he hurt himself. He had injuries here and there. At one point, he broke his leg, and he even went on record on something we'll talk about in a second as well, because we brought it up on Monday about marijuana. He feels like marijuana use contributed to his issues in Chicago. He even went on to say that it probably had me out there lackadaisical instead of going out there 100%. When we always talking about using marijuana as though it doesn't have an effect on what you do with your life. And I guess that's why I take that stance, that I'm cool with my age and up, because I believe we were taught responsibility with smoking, whereas the younger crowd seems to any day, any time, and it's like you do know you're operating a crane, right? You might not want to get on this.
Some of us were taught responsibility.
Well, we knew not to lose our job.
Right, yeah. Not finna fire up on the dock. Right.
Or
Exactly.
sit at home all day, and that's all we do. I mean, that becomes a livelihood.
Yeah, so I think him saying that, as we talked about Earl Watson and the comments of Steve Spurrier. But back to this, the suicide part, I think a lot of those players will ask themselves, that might be his friends, or where did it come in there? Big Kenny, you were talking about the CTE.
Yeah, how long will it be before that narrative builds some steam?
It'll be close. I mean, everybody's going to try to put it on there. I don't know that CTE. I know yesterday, I'll share some with you. Got a text from a number. I didn't know who it was at first. It says, "Hey, Wayne, this is your aunt. Hope all is well. I'm sending you this text because I really need your help. If you can, I need a love offering for X amount of dollars. I'm making it, but things are a little tight right now. Whatever you can do, I will be grateful for this. And it's a need, not a want. I pray whatever you plant be returned upon you. Address, blah, 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 blah." Now, in there, you never heard the person ask me how I was. Now, this person who sent me this text, I haven't spoken to in almost 2 years. And I'm just saying all that to say that's what you deal with. You get removed from that. You might have issues. So people that are running into Rashaan probably never thought
That he
to
was
ask
troubled.
him,
How you doing,
doing?
guy?
Hey,
You know,
Rashaan, how you doing? Well, man, I'm going through. Yeah, bro, I was thinking, I got
Right.
this camp coming up, and I was wondering if you could
Right. It's never whether you, and as we can obviously see, because until they say it was some other reason, it's him ending his own life.
And as Kordell said, he was alone.
Yeah, alone.
Just like that. Nobody cared.
In a park 2 miles away from the stadium he ran all those yards in. And that's just how you start from that day, as Kordell said, got lifted up on the shoulders. And what he was trying to say was his personality was not that. And I'm always telling people that about fame, in any entertainment. Everybody was not doing it for the fame. Some people really just did it because they was good at it. And they wanted to do it because it was their talent. Some people are doing it for the money. But everybody's not doing it so that when they walk into Publix, hey. And it's a lot of athletes. I always said that about Barry Sanders. He just could run the ball. He wasn't really.
I'm sorry, I'm great.
We talk about Tim Duncan like that. Tim Duncan looked like he cared less whether you had recognized him or not.
And when Kordell was talking about how, I guess, pure it was in college and that's when it really matters, that goes towards that. It's not about anything except the sport and the game at that point in your career. And I think that's why he referred to it so lovingly, is that very same reason. The money's not there yet.
Right. Even if your goal is to be to attain fame and some notoriety, you generally want that to be limited to your participation in your chosen field. So when I'm on the field, scream my name. When I'm shooting the ball, cheer for me. When I'm on the silver screen or whatever. But when I'm in Publix, let me get some non-fat milk and, some Cheetos.
When I'm at
and
Chuck E. Cheese with my kids, please.
Right, let me just be at Chuck E. Cheese.
Why are you filming me?
Right. Why can't I be at Chuck E. Cheese like everybody else?
Well, you say it all the time because we think we own you because we bought a season ticket.
Right. But it's just things like that. And I'm quite sure probably none of the people that he knows that he was in this kind of emotional state.
Because they would have been there for him.
They would have at least been there to try to talk him out of it. We'll be back. More of the Sports Joc Show right after this.